Do I look sick? Do I look sick yet? A little bit of Giardia on there? No. All right. Welcome back to the shit show, folks. Today I'm going to just give you an update on what's happened in the last week, because it's been a week since I released that last video. And thank you to everybody who's watched it. I didn't expect to get anywhere near that kind of response, but thank you nevertheless. Perhaps I had some things to say that people wanted to hear. Maybe. Let's hope. All right, so today's video is Fuck You Blue Ridge 2023, part 2. This is just an update video. It's going to be a lot shorter than the last one. So I just want to show you some of what's been going on, and I just want to make sure as well that we continue to tell people, please don't go. Just don't go to Blue Ridge, please. Hopefully 2024 does not happen. As you can see, I'm back in my studio here. On to the updates. So there's been a lot of information, so I'll try to condense it as best I can. Note that I'm going to post as many links as possible in the description down below there. So there's quite a few. I think I've got maybe 8 or something like that relate to the things I'm going to discuss today. Yeah, it's been confirmed. I mean, we knew this already. Anybody who was there knows full well that the weather was just an excuse. It has been confirmed that it was just an excuse. There's been lots of weather reports showing historical data for the specific days of the festival, and everybody who's commented on it has been like, yeah, well, no, that's not, that's not what the problem was. You know what I mean? So, yeah, weather, bullshit. Alrighty, so what has happened is there's actually been 6 stagehands who have spoken up. They spoke up with the idea of anonymity, so they haven't said who they are. But some of the specific things that they've said include that there was more than 150 staff that were forced to, in the days leading up to the festival, share 6 porta potties. At that time, and during the festival too, but at that time, garbage removal certainly wasn't happening as per plan. It was supposed to be done by an external company. Nobody ever showed up. It never happened. Basically, porta potties weren't being emptied either. So, shitty deal. And essentially what they did is they made a list of demands that improvements had to be made. There was a list of demands given by the staff to management on Friday at 5 p.m. and they expected everything to be implemented by Saturday at 5 p.m. In regards to Saturday, that's when essentially a strike was enacted. 80% of the staff were gone by 7 p.m. So they were fully prepared to just get the hell out of there. Not surprising considering what was going on. There was also a mention of full and partial refunds. I will put it up on the screen. Where is it? Okay, so what I have on the screen here is a note directly from Blue Ridge. They had to make the painful decision to cancel today's programming. This refers to Saturday. This was released during the day. And they say, we'll have an update on tomorrow's programming by 5 p.m. today. That had to do with the strike. And then, as with Thursday's weather force cancellations, full refunds will be issued for the loss of programming. You will receive an email this upcoming week with confirmation. Nah, that never happened. So, yeah, lies, and more lies, of course. Yeah, so then at that point, suggestions became that information on returns would be made available by early in the week, as I just stated. Yeah, no dice. Newsflash, this is Sunday, September the 17th, and there has been no information coming from Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Zero. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. This is yet another situation where they said they were going to do something and they haven't. Time has tested this theory that they're full of shit, and, well, they are. So we continue to learn that Jonathan Slye cannot be trusted. Okay, now I have a special report. Now on to Dick Move number 57369. This comes as a rule from the rule book for running a shitty festival and fucking over endless people. So Rule 69 states, "To extra fucketh over thine peasants, pre-sell next year's gong show dumpster fire of a festival, while fresh blood is in the streets, and before said peasants have even left the site." So I'm not sure when most people started discovering that things were really, really sketchy, but we looked pretty quickly at the Blue Ridge site and noticed that, oh, hey, look, they're selling next year's tickets. Shit Show 2023 hadn't even completed yet. That was a pretty good sign that there's a lot of sketchiness going on. If you want to be an ass and run a shitty festival, there's your direction right there. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a little bit of a timeline here, going back to September the 12th, which was Tuesday. So basically, Blue Ridge Rockfest released a statement about there being abundant misinformation out there. "Thank you for your patience during these heartbreaking circumstances. There is an overabundance of misinformation circulating that we will fully address in due time. We see you and are working as quickly as possible on our end to take care of you. This past weekend's weather cancellation was a collective one, made by the event's emergency management team composed of state and county officials, as well as representatives from the venue. We are currently in extensive discussions with our ticketing company and partners. We ask for a bit more of your patience as we work to provide you with resolution." Yeah, I'm going to have to go with bullshit. I'm going to have to call bullshit on that one. Made with the emergency management team composed of state and county officials. It was clear that they were talking to people from the raceway. It was clear that they were talking to health officials. But, yeah, about that. So the Virginia Health Department began documenting many health violations, but they confirmed that they did not shut the festival down, and they were not part of that decision. So now moving on to CEO Kerrigan Smith from Virginia International Raceway. He's claiming that they were just as devastated as the fans. But they do intend to host next year. Devastated? Really? You were actually devastated? I don't think so. Again, I call bullshit on that. Now, they did say that it was on the condition that changes are made, but they were also pretty vague about what those changes were. So the raceway was concerned that the weather we did have damaged the facilities, and that future weather events presented challenges they determined they couldn't deal with for evacuations. So I do feel like the raceway had something to do with canceling the show, but it seems like they weren't super committed to that. And Kerrigan goes on to mention that the workers' strike actually happened after closure decisions were made. Yeah, the effect of the strike actually taking place, but the mention of the strike was 24 hours earlier. So the threat of strike could very well have been what actually closed it down. So not very accurate in the description there. And in fact, quite accurate in skirting around the description, the actual description. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the raceway is not exactly telling the truth 100% here either. Okay, so then Jon Slye, our buddy, apparently he's being told not to speak out for legal reasons. I wonder why. Maybe he did something sketchy? I don't know, not likely. And of course, there's been no response to the fans, no updates, no nothing. We're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. There's actually been a lot of people going out and seeing these bands at other venues where, I don't know, they can actually see the band. Good job on that. I applaud that because you're still supporting the band and you're getting to, see the music you actually want to see. But you're not dealing with Jonathan Slye. All right, this just in. We still don't have shit. It's September the 17th. So it's been literally a week since some of the information started coming out. It's been a week and a day since the actual cancellation took place. So I want to give you one final news update. That is that the Attorney General for Virginia confirms that many complaints have been received. So good on everybody for reaching out and trying to push this forward to resolution, right? But of course, they will not comment on the status of anything. Are you surprised? I'm not. So in other words, basically that's political speak for I am a politician. It's my job to lie. I provide nothing to society. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Beam me up, Scotty. I mean, I don't see what it is outside of that. Just a politician speaking and running in a circle, not saying anything useful. And here we are. So, and now a photo break about some of the bullshit people went through. Okay, so one person in a group that I joined had actually gone through and based on photos that they saw or took from the Slipknot performance, what they actually estimated for the amount of people there, keeping in mind Polyphia was playing at the same time as well. And certainly more people were at Slipknot than Polyphia, but there was still more than what this shows. So what they're estimating based on how tightly people were packed together and the actual space available, they estimated that there were actually 53,481 people on site. I do believe that 50 to 60,000 estimate that a lot of people have given is probably pretty close. It seems like it is. So just a little bit more diving into that. And now I want to show you a couple of photos that were literally taken on Saturday, the 16th, from Blue Ridge. And if you take a look here, yeah, it still wasn't completely torn down yet. So from what I understand, who is actually responsible for tearing it down at this point were people no longer with the Blue Ridge organization, but these were actually people with the raceway that were being hired in to take things down. So there's a shot, got a few different ones here. You can see there's still porta potties in the background, whole bunch of different stage gear, and there's still garbage everywhere. So yeah, this is a week after the cancellation. So clearly the staff did strike and run away, and all the power to them. They probably should have. Actually, they definitely should have. And yeah, this is what it looks like now, or just recently. All right. Okay, and now back to more bullshit. Just some additional updates. Technically, the festival was oversold, but according to Virginia International Raceway, it didn't have a specific capacity. They didn't actually list anything specific because they have essentially 1,300 acres of property, and it's possible to fit hundreds of thousands of people in an amount of space like that. So, yeah, the number of 50 or 60,000 people is somewhat reasonable, and it has also been stated from people that are local to the raceway that it's very common to have racing events in the area with between 50 and 70,000 people in them, and they're handled just fine by people who actually know what they're doing, and the results are great. They have, full-on NASCAR events with TV crews and everything else. So to say that it's not possible to get 50,000 people through this area is completely false, because it's definitely possible, and it happens multiple times a year in the exact same location. So clearly mismanagement is what was involved in the lovely wait times that some of us had to endure. As of September 17th, that seems to be where we're at. It does currently look like 2024 is moving ahead. I hope that changes, but as of right now, that seems to be where we're at. I'm just going to pull it up here real quick. So here's the throw it in your face bullshit, claiming that 2023 is sold out and it was the largest rock and metal festival of all time. Yeah. So this is what they're selling right now. And it sounds like, according to some of the groups, that people are actually already buying tickets for 2024, which is disappointing. But you can see the pre-sale happening now. Shitty. No refunds officially being offered yet. And no word from Uncle Johnny Fuckabee Slye. Yeah. You just got to love that face you make when you scam 60,000 people. So in terms of the state of things, everybody's still fucked. The bands are touring and playing legit shows and festivals, just not this one. And very few people outside of bands are talking, which is kind of unfortunate, because it would be cool to get a true perspective from some of these other organizations. But it will come out in the wash eventually. So be patient. All right. So I just want to mention at this point that Loudwire seems to have the most concise overview I've seen. So check it out in the links below. And there's also a group called Screwed by Blue Ridge Rockfest on Facebook, which was actually started in 2021, has grown to over 31,000 members. And it has a comprehensive collection of all kinds of stuff. So a lot of the things that you see in this video actually came from that group. And so they've got stuff like a form letter to help you write a message to your bank asking for a refund, 5,000 word overview, and then there's links to basically everything related to Blue Ridge Rockfest 2023. In our case, we were initially denied a refund, but we are working on supporting documentation to move forward with that. So chances are we shouldn't have an issue getting a refund, but it just may take some work on our part. And now on to the fun part of the show. So what we're actually going to do here is take a look at the alternate band naming universe. And I really wish I had a reference for you about who actually made this, but I'm guessing it was collective amongst a few people to come up with all these names, but they did a really good job. Yeah, I'll put up the original band list and then the modded one, and let's have some fun looking at some names and, I don't know, making fun of the festival. All right. Okay. So here we have a very cleverly put together list. You can see on the left we have the actual Blue Ridge Rockfest list, and then on the right we have a slightly modified version, which basically replaced all of the real names with much funnier names. Now there are a few situations where the original, I guess, was changed so that it reflected all the updates, and the one on the right was taken from, I think, a slightly older version, but you can see some pretty good ones. So what I've actually done is I came up with my top 5 favorites list for fake band names as they relate to Blue Ridge Rockfest. And so if you take a look, there's some pretty good ones in there. Actually, there's lots of really good ones. I'd say there's probably 20 or 30 really good ones. But I'm going to go over my top 5. At number 5, I'm going to go with the replacement for Five Finger Death Punch, which is Kraft Single Chicken Lunch. I suppose you could go in a lot of directions there, but it's creative. They actually managed to put 4 words together that, I don't know, I'd rather say than Five Finger Death Punch. Going on to number 4, I like this one, and I think it has a bit to do. The reason I like it is because they actually performed, and I thought this was pretty clever. So it's Only If Ya Performed, which is a replacement for Polyphia, and they actually did get to perform, but many other bands did not, unfortunately for them and us. So moving on to number 3. Got to go with 3 Days Waste. That was a pretty good one. I do have special mention here as well. This one could have been in the list, but I do like it, and it is Fit for a Lawsuit. That's a good one. Okay, so number 2. I gotta go with Shower Token. That's a good one. You literally needed to pay for a shower. If you could even get the opportunity to get into a shower. For most people, that was just a super tall order. And you can see that they're, all the names, it's not just a bunch of funny names, it's names specifically related to Blue Ridge Rockfest and how things went down. Especially if you were there, they mean a lot more. Like Park to Wait and Drive, Tight Wristband, Hunker Down. It's pretty good. All right, and so my number 1 favorite fake band name, drum roll please, I gotta go with Motionless in Line. That was well done. I mean, there's Sly Thief, there's Go Hide in a Campria. They did a good job. So give me your top 5 below. Maybe you think the ones I picked were stupid, but that's fine. Let me know what you thought. Okay, so and now we can't forget Giardia. So it does seem like many people got sick with Giardia now. It is a fairly serious waterborne illness. We might as well joke about it. In healthy fashion. So, I got a couple of different memes I want to show you here that I thought were pretty good. So we've got, I survived dysentery from the Blue Ridge shit show. And then we have the illustrious car skidding into an off-ramp, willing to go to a no-lube colonoscopy instead of going to Blue Ridge Rockfest 2024. This should be on a shirt, definitely. And then we have the classic use of Archer. Not that you needed Archer to be in there, but do you want Giardia? Because that's how you get Giardia. Blue Ridge Rock Festival 2023. Quite a few people have mentioned it, sadly. And then there's also all the people jumping on the bandwagon and making merch. And of course, there's the I Survived the 2023 Blue Ridge Rock Festival shit show. I don't know what's on the back of that one, but So go and get some merch and support the destruction of Blue Ridge 2024. All right. So on that note, thank you for watching. I appreciate all the views and all the comments. I try to respond to all the comments as much as possible. Like and subscribe if you want, and keep it metal out there. And try not to attend shitty festivals. You know what I mean? It's probably in your best interest. So cheers, and I'll update you more as things develop. Thanks for checking out the video. See you next time.